Glock 43X and Glock 48 hold 10 rounds in the magazine. Or do they? Here is a brand new 15-round capacity magazine for the Glock 43X and the Glock 48. It is the exact same size as the standard Glock 10-round magazine. Somehow it has magic extra space inside that holds 5 more rounds. That's 50% more capacity in the same footprint. But does it work? Well, that's what I'm here to find out today. Because if it doesn't work, it's a worthless piece of junk. If it does work, it could be a game changer. Well, let's find out. Here we go. I have both the 43X and the 48 with me today, and I am going to use exclusively this magazine, which means I'm going to have to stop and do a lot of reloading in between, but I want to test it really thoroughly. Well, there were the first 15 rounds through the 43X. Let me load it up full, and we'll try it in the 48. Okay, now the 48. Both of these pistols are wearing rubber Talon grips, my personal favorite. They also both have a really nice set of aftermarket Ameriglow sights on them. That orange Hackathorn style front sight and blacked out rear. I love it a whole lot. One more upgrade on the 48, it has a CMC flat trigger, which is also pretty nice. Okay, 15 more rounds through this magazine. Good stuff, man, so far. I know it's only 2, but so the other thing, drops nice and free. It loads easy. You know, it gets a little bit stiff those last couple rounds, but really not bad at all. So far, I'm pretty impressed. So this magazine is made by a company called Shield Arms, whom I was not familiar with. I don't know if it's a new company or I just happen to not hear of them. But it is called the S15 is the model or the make of this particular magazine. It is made in the United States, and that's a good thing. It's all steel with a plastic follower, of course, and a plastic base pad. But so far, it is working perfectly. Very nice construction, real good quality on the magazine, on the box, good quality on the finish, and working like a champ. Hey. All right, what's going on? Well, I may not be able to shoot, but this magazine is performing perfectly. So I got like $45 in this magazine, which is expensive and, you know, a little bit painful to spend. However, if it works as good as it has so far, if it continues to perform like it has performed, it could be very well worth that price to get this little tiny gun to hold 15+1. Perfect, absolute perfection so far. Doesn't always want to drop clean. Seems to drop better out of the 48 than the 43 for some reason. But there are little bitty finger tabs right there where you can pull it out. So if you're a Glock fan or a Glock enthusiast, or it's just a gun you choose because you prefer it, and you were happy when the 48 and the 43X came out and they held 10 rounds, and then you got kind of bummed out when SIG and Springfield Armory bested that with 11 rounds and 12 rounds and all that. Well, now you can be happy once again with this particular magazine, because it, without changing the size of your gun at all, a 50% increase. That's huge. That is huge. Half again as more rounds without any change in the size of the gun. That's pretty incredible. It's impressive enough just to do it, just to make the magazine that can do it, but to make it work as good as this one is working, that's very impressive. Back to the 48. It's been flawless, and it does drop nice out of the 48. Drops real clean. For whatever reason, so I'm going to put about 100 rounds through this, and I think that's probably a pretty good initial test. I find that magazines tend to, if they're not going to work well, they tend to not work well right off the bat. They usually don't. Usually if you're going to have a problem with a magazine, it's because, people say, well, you got to let it break in and all that. Well, if it works great right out of the box, like this one is, for 100 or so rounds, then we can assume that it's probably going to continue to work really good as time goes on. By the way, if you want to know more about the CMC trigger in this Glock 48, I have a video review. Go look it up. Maybe I'll be nice and put a link. Ditto for these Ameriglow sights, which are incredible. It's been perfection. Pure perfection. So that was 13. It's starting to get a little stiff. 14 and 15, but very easy. Really no rattling around. Good stuff. Okay, this magazine full will take me up to over 100 rounds. This will be like 105 rounds. And then I'll probably do a little bit of eye candy footage for you, just some close-up shooting and all that for a little bit. That'll take me up to probably 120, somewhere between 120 to 150 rounds. And this thing is performing perfectly. So, Shield Arms, well done. I had never heard of the company Shield Arms. I don't know if they're new, again, or if they've been around and I'm just ignorant of them. But this is a promising new product. 15-round magazine for the Glock 43X and the Glock 48. And so far today, it is working absolutely perfectly. Wow. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon.